downloading the video. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 832. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. Please visit the main YouTube page to catch all the videos. And that is just youtube.com/Michael Smith MTS. While you're there, please click subscribe. Really appreciate that. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call. If you are an IT pro or an MSP, this is what you want to be using for remote access. Instant House Call provides unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking the link on my website over at miketechshow.com. Use the promo code MikeTechShow and you'll get 15 days free to try it out. Or you can go directly to instanthousecall.com. This show is also brought to you by MagnusBox. I've just added several more devices. Every new client I get, they need online backups that are encrypted, that's HIPAA compliant, that you can easily manage and resell. MagnusBox only sells to partners, and you can go to magnusbox.com and try the demo, and it's the same features as the paying partners are using, and you get to demo it, kick the tires, try it out. This is the best online backup service that you could deploy. I now make it almost mandatory for every workstation that I'm coming across, because maybe you can't close that deal for a retainer contract, but you know what? It's easy to sell a backup contract. And then it puts you in touch more with them. You know, you get to check in. Hey, the backups are running great. And now you have leverage with that client, because now you're doing their backups. You're doing regular billing. I bill every quarter. And it just makes you closer to the client. And as they need more, you're right there. They're thinking about you. So as they come across something, you'll be contacted faster. I'm getting more secondary, tertiary business from the clients that I'm putting on MagnusBox for my online backups than I am with other clients, because I am managing their backups. So just something to think about to help with your service stack, your products that you're selling. Add MagnusBox. You'll appreciate it. And don't forget to tell MagnusBox that you heard it on the Mike Tech Show, because you'll get 50% off the first 3 months of the platform fee and free white labeling. So give them a try. I have great show tonight. Let me just review a few things. Of course, stories from the trenches. Going to start there because lots to talk about, because that's why last week I had to cancel the show. My son was on vacation and was technically off the grid. And let me tell you, I was very, very, very busy. We're going to talk about Office Message Encryption with Microsoft 365. A very specific, I would say, issue, but to one client it's an issue, to another one it's a feature. So I'm going to talk about how you turn that feature off. Okay, very important. I had to research that and work with SureWeb to make that happen. Going to talk about email archiving, a great email from Jason, and then 4 cool websites that you're going to want to bookmark that are, I would like to say, one of them is only tech related. The other 3 are more fun and things that you can, definitely use. And, something that's interesting about an interesting website. Maybe you're with a friend or a client or somebody and you get to mention this. Maybe something comes up that's close to the topic, and you can definitely get closer with your clients by recommending things like this. And that's why I like just mixing it up and want something sort of like homework for you to go try. All right. So my son, Michael Jr., was on vacation. He didn't get back till Tuesday morning. And man, I had him booked all week for jobs. Last Thursday, I had to cancel because I had work Thursday night. Some remote maintenance work and some things that had to happen on Thursday night. And then I had to go to bed very early. I had to get up on Friday morning. I had to get up at 5 a.m. to be at a client at 7 a.m. to meet the security company's camera guy installers, because we were installing another camera, adjusting some of the others. That was my son's project with a client, but they all of a sudden wanted to come out Friday and my son's not there, not available, so I had to do it. So everything went well. That was great, but it was all day. So I did not get home till like 4 or 5, and I just collapsed. I was dead because it was pretty hot and humid outside, and of course the cameras are being installed outside, so I spent a lot of time out there. Unlike the installers were dying. They were in much better shape than I am, and they were still the heat and just they were dying, sucking down on water all day. All right, because you got to stay hydrated when you're outside. The email migrations, 2 small email migrations that were just a couple accounts, and I was able to easily get them connected on SureWeb and get everything working. I'm still waiting for the proof point activation on these 2. So that's something that I'm starting to see it a little slower. And for Dexter, who's listening, I'm going to definitely, I didn't get a chance to reply to you today, but this sort of kind of answers your question a little bit. With all these services of adding to SureWeb, I'm noticing they do help me, and I'm going to talk about a big issue. They help me, but it is slower. So I open my tickets via an email, and sometimes you can get better response on email than you can waiting on hold or trying to work with someone. I noticed tier 1's not as good. It's almost always got to be escalated. So this is just one of the things, you learn to deal with it. Right now I'm so used to SureWeb, and I have way too many accounts. And I even put my Microsoft 365 accounts, buying them through SureWeb. But I do not resell the service. I lead my client there to make the purchase, and I help them by having them use their credit card, their purchase. The billing for that is not direct to me. I make the money on the labor helping them. Now, I'm an advisor for SureWeb, so it's a small percentage, but I get a percentage, and that helps, it's monthly on all the billing, and I got so many accounts there. It's something. But I don't just let them buy it by themselves. I help them, and we buy the Microsoft through SureWeb, which is where I believe everything's eventually heading. Your traditional hosted exchange, I think, is going to go away. I do believe that, and it's just going to be Microsoft, and that's it. And whether you like that or not, I believe that's where we're definitely heading. So with these 2 accounts, and I actually have an email migration tomorrow, and I know I talked about this on the last show. This is a client that has AOL and a new business that we were introduced to, and they desperately need a new email, not only for their branding, but for security. And that's something a lot of companies need more security training, and that's something I'm doing remote over Zoom, and had a couple sessions last week with clients going over how to use the encryption feature for email, because they own the Microsoft 365 E3, but weren't using it. And so that's something that I had to make sure to train everybody. And this is a great segue into the first story for tonight, which is when you encrypt an email from Microsoft, by default, when you add an attachment, now the attachment's naturally encrypted because it's part of the encrypted email. So the recipient will just get an email stating that sender ABC has sent you an encrypted message. You got to click on the link. It takes you to a Microsoft portal where you click a link and it'll send you a one-time code to prove who you are, so you can log in, and now you can read the message. You can download the attachment. Well, guess what happens by default? The attachments are encrypted and nobody can open the attachment even if you download it. Well, with doing a lot of research last week, we definitely had to turn that off. So what I will discuss right now for the first link is the Office message encryption. The recipient is not able to open the Office attachment. So I'm going to have a link to this question that was in a Microsoft posting for a Q&A. And if you take a look, and I'm going to highlight it right here, there's a command that you have to type at the PowerShell Exchange server command line. So you got to open up the Exchange PowerShell, and you got to set -IRM configuration. It's a long line here. Then decrypt attachment for encrypt only, $true. So you're toggling the feature to automatically decrypt attachments. So this way your recipients have a fighting chance of being able to view this. This was horrible. I can't believe I have not ran into this. I think it was not that long ago it was turned on. And this is not a problem with Proofpoint. And I do have a large segment of my clients using Proofpoint in conjunction with hosted exchange with SureWeb. And Proofpoint does not do this. You can send an encrypted attachment, the attachment is part of the encrypted email, and you can download it. All you got to do is prove who you are. You get in, boom, you should be able to open it up. This was a major problem for my client last week. We finally got it solved. I had to email SureWeb, and it took a few days. I emailed them on Friday, and this was not resolved until yesterday. So yesterday was Wednesday. Now, I know we had the holiday, but SureWeb's in Canada. They don't celebrate the 4th of July. So anyway, it was interesting. It took a few days. They eventually applied the command, but I will say this. I had to have the owner of the company, from his secondary email account, which is what he used to open up the SureWeb account, he had to reply to tech support from that email account. So, and then they were able to believe, even though I'm an advisor and I'm allowed to speak on their behalf and they're set up under me, it was still hard to prove who I was, but I gave them the answer by saying, I need this specific command applied to the tenant of my client on their Microsoft 365 E3. So they took care of this, and now that is working. So now let's go to the next link while we're on a roll here. Microsoft quietly patches that 0-day vulnerability. As a matter of fact, something that I thought was very interesting, Microsoft didn't even bother to list the fix in its patch notes. Really? And they fixed it. So that's good. If you are continually applying the Microsoft Windows updates, then this is taken care of and it's fixed. So I'm glad. As a matter of fact, I received a couple emails, and Kurt, thank you. He also sent me this link, and this was on a link. I think it was Bleeping Computer. I ended up seeing. I try to visit Bleeping Computer as much as I can. So let's see. All right. Let's get to some fun websites that I wanted to go over. Temp email address, temp.mail.org. And I'm going to copy this and I'm putting it into the chat. And this will automatically create a temporary email address. So this is kind of cool because you can respond to marketing and to all sorts of things. You just by going to the website, and they even have a Apple app and a Android app. Just literally by going, and I'm going to refresh the page, and I'll probably get it's loading, and I'm going to get a different email address. So let's see what's happening here. Oh, no, it gave me the same one. I guess it knows it's me, and with a cookie there. But anyway, if you need a temporary email address, very cool. I thought this was a nice site that you will like. This is one that I think this is cool. Did you ever want to figure out what will you make? This is myfridgefood.com. So you can check off and add anything that's in your refrigerator. Let's say I got cheese. We'll say we have bread. We have apples. We have broccoli. Let's see. Do we have crumbs and stuffing? Yeah. Fish. Oh, we got eggs. Hold on. What else do we got? We got mustard. We got mayo. I'm just going around here. We get ketchup. There's probably milk. There's olive oil. Garlic powder. Is there bacon? I don't know. Anyway, now I just checked all of these things, and you could add a bunch, and now click Find Recipes. And so what this is doing is calculating what recipes could I make. Why isn't... Oh, here we go. No missing ingredients. This is more fried cheese, cheesy broccoli bites, big breakfast bread pudding. And this tells you the calories. It'll tell you exactly. You can log in to bookmark this, but you can click on this and actually get the full recipe. I don't know what's missing. I did this once, and it had me instructions for making some grilled cheese sandwiches. So let's go more fried cheese. And here you have the cooking time is 10 minutes. Makes for the calories, the carbs, the fat, the protein, the ingredients, and the full directions. I thought this was very, very interesting. If you are limited, or you got someone coming over in a little bit and you don't have time to go shopping, what do you have and what can you make? And it definitely can give you ideas. So now with that, well, you got to be able to make drinks, right? So how about my bar? Make me a cocktail.com. And I'm putting that into the chat. So now this is the same thing. You can have popular ingredients where what spirits do you have? What liqueurs? Wine, champagnes, beers, mixers. Do you have juices, soft drinks, syrups, and then others? What do you have for others? Do you have fruits? You just literally check off all the items you have and then click make me a cocktail, and it will give you the options for making cocktails based on the ingredients you have. I'm finding this, I like it. I think it's cool. And if you don't know what you're going to make with food or drinks, there you go. Final website that is awesome, and it's called tunefind.com. I need to use this all the time, and here's why. And it's a lot of music that we do in the post show. Now, I don't know how YouTube's going to be on a sample, but I'm definitely going to type something here, and we're going to find it, and it's because of Stranger Things. So if you are watching Stranger Things, which I have, and boy, a lot of ads coming up. So what I wanted to know is when you got season 4, and this is episode 8. Let's go back to episode 1 of season 4. So if you have a series, or maybe it's a movie, or there's something that you want to be able to find out who is singing that song, who made that. So this is becoming very, very popular, and it's Kate Bush's Running Up the Hill. And this was done in 1985 by Kate, and it has become very, very popular right now. And I know Stranger Things, the new season, I'm not going to give away the spoiler if you haven't seen it, but there's a reason that this song and one of the persons is constantly listening to this. There's an actual reason. It's part of the plot. So and if you didn't hear anything and you're listening to this, that means Google, before I uploaded it to YouTube, they took it out. So that is definitely very, very possible. But I'm hoping I just did just enough sample that's okay. I want to know the music all the time. I'm watching a movie, or I was like, oh, who did that soundtrack? Who did that particular song? Now you got a place to go to. So tunefind.com, that's a great place to find that music. And anybody who listens, who hangs around to the post show, knows my love and passion for music. I always talk about the concerts I'm going to or have attended or going to attend. So music's a big part of my life. And a lot of the music I get and find is because when I'm watching a movie, I'm also thinking, ooh, who's doing that? Now I don't have to worry. Got a place to go to. I can see, okay, that's who sang that song. That's who did that. Oh, it was a cover by so-and-so. But I have noticed a lot of older songs being brought back and getting regular airplay on some of the alternative stations lately. And it's kind of cool because I think Kate Bush, great artist, and she hasn't recorded anything in a long time, but that's a great song. And if you don't know it, check her out. That was from, let's see, hold on. That was a 1985 album. And hold on a second. Now I'm pausing the audio. So music, let me look at Kate Bush. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So of course in the post show I am going to play this. This will be the first song I play. It is the 1985 Hounds of Love. Okay. So I looked that up. It was 1985 Kate Bush's album, Hounds of Love. It's the #1 track on that album, and it's Running Up the Hill and, in parentheses, A Deal with God. So very good song. And it's got a lot of covers. Halsey's doing it on tour now. Placebo, if you ever go to YouTube and you want to have a great cover of this song, if you ever want to hear it, Placebo does a tremendous job. Enough of that. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, and hopefully you enjoy the websites. Let me know if you like that. I try to add that every few weeks, a cool site to go to that you might not have heard of. And if you got sites like that that you want me to cover or talk about, or, especially at the end of the show, hey, let me know. Hook me up with that. I love looking at things like that. And especially if they're useful, boom, these are sites I want to bookmark. So, and especially if they come with apps like that, the food app is probably more important than the drink app, where there's not a lot of opportunities where I have to make drinks. So, but for the food one, that's kind of cool. That's it. And hope to see you back here next week. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye, everybody.